What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you guys are hanging out with me for the first time, do your boy a favor, just go ahead and drop a quick like for the channel, and also go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel as well while you guys are at it. So I've been getting a lot of requests asking about my M1 Finance portfolio. What are you invested in? How well is it doing? I mean, we're in a recession, or we're borderline in a recession. Interest rates are headed higher for mortgages. Gas prices are fluctuating. The housing market is headed a little bit downward. We're seeing lots of economic factors that would certainly tend to make you think that a portfolio would perform negatively. However, I think you might be surprised to see how my dividend-focused M1 Finance portfolio is doing. So, the first thing I want to do is I want to let you guys know that I started this back in 2020. This was literally just weeks before the pandemic began. So keep that in mind as I share some of these details with you guys. Now, when I show you the portfolio, I want you to keep in mind that we all start at different points in life, right? Now, for some, my portfolio is rather small. For others, my portfolio is rather large. But it's not about the size of the portfolio. It's about the fundamentals and the thought process behind what I did to get my M1 Finance portfolio to where it's at right now and where I want it to go going forward. In addition to that, I want you guys to fully understand that my goal is not to necessarily have tremendous capital gains year over year. For me, my goal is to increase the amount of passive income that is generated from this account, right? And most people get really concerned when there's a recession, or there's talk about a recession, or inflation's really high. What am I going to do? Cost of living is increasing. How do I prepare myself, right? Well, one of the things that I really like about this strategy that I'm implementing today, and that I have been implementing for years, is that it capitalizes on stock market crashes. And most people are like, I don't want to lose money in the stock market if the stock market goes down. Well, with my strategy, I have not been losing money when the stock market has gone down. In fact, I've actually done quite well with stock market prices going down. Even beyond that, to be very frank with you guys, I look forward to stock market crashes because my portfolio benefits directly from discounted asset prices, right? So without further ado, let me go ahead and show you guys exactly what this portfolio looks like. All right, guys, so as you can see here, I went ahead and named this portfolio multiple streams of income. And the reason is my goal, like I said earlier, is to generate passive income through dividend payments, which are generated from the stocks that I hold. So like 99% of the stocks that are in this portfolio pay a dividend. And these stocks, basically, if there's a change in the dividend, then I'm probably going to end up either, if the dividend is reduced, I'm probably going to start looking to exit the position. But if the dividend is maintaining the same or increasing, then I'm probably going to continue investing in that particular stock, ETF, index fund, or equity. So as you can see here, guys, I actually started this portfolio with right at $500, and I made my very first investment on February 4th, 2020. And what my very first investment was, and let me just go ahead and scroll down so that you guys can see it. I ended up investing in the Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity Fund, and this is SCHD. So, a lot of people are like, well, how did you choose to start off with that one? Well, to be honest with you, I wanted to invest in a particular index fund or ETF that was diversified. So when I started off, I started investing in SCHD, and then I also invested in the SPHD. But a lot of people have been asking me more and more about dividend stocks, real estate investment trusts, basically simple ways to generate income through passive efforts. And to me, the stock market is one of the easiest ways, or simplest ways, I should say, to invest for passive income. Now, let me go ahead and click on SCHD for you guys right quick. Now, as you can see, the holdings on this one is not tremendously large, right? Not in this particular account. I actually hold SCHD in a greater number of shares in another account, but I just wanted to kind of just show you guys SCHD really quick. It's one of my favorite types of index funds. In fact, I want to share this with you guys because somebody asked me, what's the difference between SCHD versus VYM, right? Now, essentially, this is a great explanation here. The difference lies in the fact that SCHD's investment objective is to track the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the US Dividend 100 Index, whereas VYM's investment objective is to track the FTSE, also known as the I forget what the FTSE stands for, but basically it's like the European stock market index. But more importantly, the VYM, it tracks the FTSE's high dividend yield index. And so both indexes are targeting these reliable dividend stocks with a bias toward higher yielders while avoiding exposure to REITs or real estate investment trusts such as VNQ, which is a Vanguard ETF. Now, so given the fact that there's a lot of turbulence in the market right now with commercial real estate, commercially backed mortgages, commercial mortgage backed securities, your CMBs, I think PacWest, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the banks or financial institutions, investment firms right now that is holding quite a few investments related to commercially backed mortgages and securities. Now, given the fact that there's been so much remote work taking place and more employers are not really seeing the need to have as much office space, and with a lot of these commercial leases coming up for renewal, a lot of investors are concerned that these holders of these loans, of these commercially backed loans, are not going to be able to necessarily be able to refinance, especially as their rents are going down, their incomes are going down. And so if you guys are familiar with commercially backed, or if you guys are familiar with commercial real estate, the value of commercial real estate it's mainly tied to how much income it generates. So unlike a residential home, where the residential value is based on what other homes that are similar to it have sold for recently in a nearby vicinity, commercial real estate is actually valued based on how much money the property generates. And so not so much how much another property has sold for, if that makes sense. So long and short of it is, if you wanted to stay away from commercially backed real estate, which a lot of people are trying to stay away from commercial real estate, then SCHD and VYM might offer a good way to generate passive income through dividends while kind of staying away from a lot of the commercial real estate, which a lot of people are currently concerned about. All right, guys, so if we go back into the portfolio, we can see here, let me just kind of scroll up a little bit and go into I think it's activity. Yeah. So in this particular account, and I have multiple accounts, but I just want to show you guys this one just because you can see here, June the 20th, I've received 2 payments. One payment was 95 cents from McDonald's Corporation. I received $8.93 from Dominion Energy Incorporated. And what I love about these is that I don't do anything to get these payments. If you just own the stocks, these companies pay you dividends usually every quarter. I have some stocks or ETFs that pay every single month, but the more shares you own, the larger your payment is. And again, I'm choosing companies that pay regularly and increase their dividend payments over time. So we can see here on the 16th, I received 2 payments, $3.58 from WM Waste Management. The way I see it, people are going to always need their trash taken out. So that's one of the reasons why I purchased or invested in waste management. Duke Energy Corporation, $10.38 on the 16th as well. I mean, people need to heat their homes. They need to provide power, utilities this is pretty much like a for everything. Like it's not like you only, heat your home or need electricity in your home when you want it. It's kind of like a necessity, right? So I like companies that pretty much have a moat, and they're like guaranteed to always have a need for their service. For the most part, like there's always anomalies for why a company may have been a need for a long time and then all of a sudden they become obsolete. But usually it's not all of a sudden. Generally speaking, you can see a train coming, and it doesn't just show up on your doorstep overnight. So here we have Main Street Capital Corporation, 45 cents. O Realty Income Corporation. This is a real estate investment trust. This one actually holds, if I'm not mistaken, it holds a lot of like malls and strip malls, apartment complexes, hotels and whatnot. Not a big fan of malls right now, to be honest with you, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on that one. But it did pay $2.91. We got Home Depot in here. We can see Home Depot paid $3.19. Estee Lauder, women always want to be beautiful, and they are beautiful, and they enhance themselves with cosmetics. And Estee Lauder is doing that. 46 cents here. You've got CVX, which is Chevron Corporation. Got Target in here, Pfizer, ExxonMobil, Microsoft. So these are just some of the dividend payments that I've received in the month of June. So as you guys can see here, these companies are paying dividends on a fairly regular basis. Now, if I go back to the home screen, I just want to kind of show you guys how I started, right? So yeah, I started with $500 to start off with opening the account, and you didn't have to open it with $500. You could have started with more or less. But as you can see here, I gradually made contributions to the account, and as I received dividends, it was paying the account, and I would take those same dividends that were being paid to me and reinvest them into purchasing more stocks. And the great thing about M1 Finance is that they allow you to make fractional share purchases, right? So like, let's just say, for example, and I love this really cool chart over here. It kind of like shows your portfolio allocations, the percentages. I can get into what all this means in a future video. Real estate, finance, look at that, healthcare, utilities, oil and gas. I can get into how this is set up, why I've set it up the way I have set it up. But let's just look at this. The healthcare segment is up $1,256. But my telecom sector is down $916. And this is this is to me like a testament. Look at this, bonds down $98. Not a big deal compared to the overall portfolio. It looks like the portfolio is actually doing pretty well. But this is why I like diversification, because as some industries or sectors are underperforming, I have other industries and sectors that are performing well, and they're able to overshadow these underperformers. But at the same time, while these are underperforming, that means they're cheap. This telecom sector is underperforming, it's cheap. So I can take some of the wins, some of the gains from the positive, profitable sectors and reinvest them into these cheaper assets. And then eventually, I expect that these will go up in value. And so I can take new money and use that new money to buy cheaper assets that can become more valuable over time. So just kind of going back to the portfolio though, as you can see here, started off with $500, and then over time I grew that portfolio week by week, month by month, right? So it's not a race, guys. It's about building wealth over time, being consistent, making contributions to your portfolio, and proper budgeting to ensure that you have the money available to continue to invest. Now, me personally, I've been taught that your income will always be your greatest income generating tool. So the last thing I want to do is to saddle myself down with loads of consumer debt, any kind of debt that's not paying me, because that means that I'm paying typically interest on it, And that interest is holding me back from being able to make financial gains and to achieve financial freedom or fire or to be able to retire early. It's negating from the benefits of any type of passive income or dividend payments or interest that you might be generating from your investments. And if you're saddled down with minimum payments, then that means that's more positive cash flow that you're earning from your 9-to-5 job or from your side hustle or your business, wherever you happen to generate income from. That's taking money away from being able to make investments with that money. So, getting out of debt has been one of the most beneficial things that I have done with my life. And it's also very rewarding. I don't know how many of you guys read the Bible, and me personally, I don't really read the Bible, but I do know that there's like a scripture in there or a verse or whatever. There's like something in there, and it says like the borrower is slave to the lender. And I'll be honest with you guys, like when I got out of debt, it was one of the most, it's hard to say anything other than spiritually enlightening moments. It literally felt like just this weight being lifted off of my chest, becoming debt free. And once I experienced that, I just wanted to kind of like share that experience with as many people as possible, and to encourage people to consider putting forth the effort and building a plan and a strategy to become debt free, because you can do it. I'm talking from a perspective of being, $40,000-$50,000 in debt at one point, not including real estate. And being able to have dug myself out of it. Did I work 2 jobs? Did I have side hustles and, different alternative means of generating income to help get myself out of that mess sooner and faster? Yes. Definitely took sacrifice. Definitely took delayed gratification. But was it worth it? Oh, absolutely. Short-term pain for long-term gain. Sign me up for that all day long. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to share this quick M1 Finance portfolio update with you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions for me. I look forward to reading your questions and your comments and your feedback. Let me know if there's any aspects that you want me to cover in future videos. Consider subscribing to the channel. Also, drop a quick like for the video. And I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe.